Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
tell me this. Is this season a failure if Lamar loses Sunday, RC?
Yes, absolutely a failure. Lamar Jackson is now only judged by championships. And I think it's a failure for many reasons. One, it's a failure because he has the best team. And part of him being on the best team is that defense, is the run game, is Todd Monken that's been added. Also, some of the pieces on the outside, but it's Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is in the conversation with Patrick Mahomes for best player in the entire world. But what do the best players do to become great? They show up in the biggest moments. This is the biggest moment of Lamar Jackson's entire career. And let's be real, Lamar Jackson is playing for more than himself. And I know we've had the Doug Williams win Super Bowls, Patrick Mahomes, we've had the Russell Wilsons, but Lamar Jackson is different from all of them. Lamar Jackson has gone against the status quo, gone against the familiar since the moment he was drafted by not choosing an agent and staying with his mother, allowing her to be part of his representation by the hair he wears, by the way he talks, by the way he plays. This is bigger than Doug Williams. When John Harbaugh sat on the sideline next to Lamar Jackson during his first run as an MVP and said, do you know how many kids are going to go buy number 8 jerseys because of you? Because they look like you, because they talk like you, because they come from places that you came from, and he never switched up. He never became anything but Lamar Jackson. He never changed his style of play. He just improved on it. He never changed the way that he directed or he behaved in press conferences. He just improved on it. And he never changed the way that he led a locker room. He just improved on it. But it stayed authentically Lamar Jackson. And for that reason, when he wins or when he loses, the conversation is about so much bigger than just who he is as a player. So this is imperative that Lamar Jackson not only wins this game, but he wins the Super Bowl, because it's an entire culture on the back of that jersey, not just the name Jackson.
Yeah, big JTV, man. Like, comment, subscribe, like, comment, sub. And that was Ryan Clark explaining why Lamar Jackson's, current, Super Bowl run or his playoff run is so important. And the thing is, Ryan Clark went on Twitter and he wrote a caption to what he said, and it says, I know we had Doug Williams, Patrick Mahomes, and Russell Wilson win the Super Bowl, but Lamar Jackson is a different breed. He's one of the best in the world today, and his authenticity to who he is unique. He's been told that people who talk like him, wear his hair like you do, or lead the way you do aren't supposed to be at the top. That's before you got criticism of his style of play. Lamar Jackson represented the challenge to the status quo, the unfamiliar they said wouldn't work, and the commodity of little boys who one day dream his authenticity could be their own. He's got more than the nameplate that reads Jackson on his back. He's got an entire culture. So I'm going to disagree with Ryan Clark here. I'm going to disagree for the simple fact that, yes, to a certain demographic of people, right, usually older, usually white, usually, let me just keep it real, very conservative, leaning people, they look at a guy like Lamar Jackson and they think automatically thug, automatically, a person who is doing bad in the community, criminal, somebody who's a danger, right? Now, yes, to that culture, yes, he's not like Doug Williams or Russell Wilson or Patrick Mahomes in that sense, right? But is he representing an entire culture? Absolutely not. Lamar Jackson is not some ghetto nigga, man. Lamar Jackson is an individual that was actually, who was actually more doubted than Lamar? Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was actually doubted heavily, right? Russell Wilson was a 3rd-round pick, considered too short, considered not a good thrower of the ball at all. But Russell Wilson played on an amazing defense and was able to get a chip within the first 3 years in the league. He was doubted more than Lamar. See, what's happening now is that Lamar has gotten I think the perception of Lamar has changed so great that people think he's more of an underdog than he actually is. So what do I mean by that? I mean that, you know, the hate train for Lamar is not as big as people think. Right? Lamar, he's inspirational to white kids. Okay? He's inspirational to all kind of kids, all type of people who love the game of football. If you love the game of football, you know how great Lamar is. There's only maybe a 10% hater club, but it's relative to almost all great players. They have that hater club. You know what I mean? A guy like Steve Young, right? Even him, he used to get hated on for running and scrambling out of the pocket. But now in the modern NFL, all quarterbacks have to be somewhat mobile because the defensive ends are amazing athletes right now. You have Max Crosby running after you, Nick Bosa, TJ Watt, Mekhi Parsons. You have Myles Garrett. You have, Danielle Hunter on Minnesota Vikings. You have a ton of pass rushing experts, you know what I mean, who are Trey Richardson. You know what I mean? You have a ton of pass rushers who are so athletic, linebackers who go left and right faster than some of the receivers out here. So you need a guy who has Lamar's somewhat skill set. That's why Anthony Richardson went number 4 in the draft. They wanted a Lamar type figure. That's what they wanted. See, what's happened now is that the culture that, a guy like, Ryan Clark is talking about, I think it's in the majority, man. You know what I mean? He's not changing the culture. The culture has already changed. See, Lamar, him winning a Super Bowl, right? He doesn't have to win it, but you have to put some respect on people like Doug Williams, who was the first black quarterback to win it. You have to put more respect on guys like Randall Cunningham, a real dual threat quarterback back in the day, right? So Michael Vick, what Lamar is doing is not necessarily revolutionary, not at all. It's just that the 10% of hate train towards Lamar is feeding into this super overprotection of Lamar, right? And here's something that's ironic. I think Lamar feeds off the negativity. So when he gets negative press, it actually propels him to do better, do more. See, the haters of Lamar are maybe 10% of football fans. Most people love Lamar, right? And when you look at guys like Doug Williams, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, some people would say, oh, they're not black enough. No, let me remind y'all something. Black people are not a monolith. We're not all the same, right? There's black people, there's niggas. It's very different. It's even a Chris Rock bit, right? There's individuals who are black who are more buttoned up or more street or more hood, right? When Ryan Clark says this speech, he's bringing up a tired trope of saying that all black people, like Lamar represents all black people. No, he doesn't represent all black people. I'm a huge fan of Lamar Jackson, massive fan. You know what I mean? But I understand that he doesn't necessarily even really represent the hood. Lamar Jackson just represents himself. He's just being him. And guess what? So is Russell Wilson. So is Patrick Mahomes' corny ass. But guess what? They're being authentically themselves. You can't say Lamar is more authentic than them. They're both living their own individual black lives as human beings on this planet, man. And when, analysts and commentators such as Ryan Clark bring this up, I don't like that, man. It's a lazy narrative. It's a lazy trope. It's putting all black people in a box, all black men in a box, when Ryan Clark himself is very buttoned up. Ryan Clark himself is not very hood, in quotes, quote unquote, hood, right? See, putting Lamar in that box of representing the culture is kind of insulting. It's almost saying like, bro, you're just a hood nigga. That's insulting. If you really think about it, he's greater than that. He's greater than that. And when you use that tired narrative, it kind of discredits you, Ryan Clark. But anyways, man, let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. We don't let the 10% dictate the narrative, man. That's what I'm getting to in this video. We're not letting the 10% describe who Lamar is. See, Patrick Mahomes winning a quarterback, winning the Super Bowl, respect to him. Russell Wilson winning the Super Bowl, respect to him. Individuals like Doug Williams who was a true pioneer and deserves all the respect. Major salute to him. So Lamar winning a Super Bowl won't be so revolutionary. You know, a great quarterback who won the Super Bowl. Wow. Are we surprised by that? No. That's what great quarterbacks do. You know what I mean? And this narrative that he's representing the culture, nah, man. It's tired. It's goofy. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Big J TV, like, comment, sub. I'm out.